Hi friends, it's your pal Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. We're going to talk about the issue of Lego over 28 millimeter. So, really important day in Lego in Dungeons and Dragons history was when Dungeons and Dragons officially connected with Lego and created the Lego Dungeons and Dragons Red Dragon's Tale set. It debuted for $360, and it put four I think it put 5 official Dungeons and Dragons miniatures and lots of terrain and lots of weapons. And it also officially said, hey, every Lego set that's ever been built at, Lego minifigure scale is usable now for Dungeons and Dragons. And going forward, miniatures and terrain you can use Lego, right? So the moment that happened, and that happened in April of 2024, okay, and I was there for it. Like, I was there with bells on. Yeah. And you'll find hundreds of videos on that set here on my channel. I covered it in high depth. But what's interesting is I just watched Black Magic Craft. So he has a channel that is dedicated to Dungeons and Dragons miniatures, right? And what blew me away is he came on and he did a video and he said, I had this problem. I was kit bashing and I just couldn't find the parts I needed. And so I'd already spent hours on this, and I have a game coming up, and I'm jammed up, right? Because I can't print miniatures and get them shipped, right? But I don't have the kit bash parts. So what do I do, right? And so he says, so what I did was I went to Hero. So here's how I solved the miniatures problem. I went to Hero Forge, and I created exactly the hero I needed, right? And then, but I can't ship it because I won't get it. I'll have to ship overnight. It's too expensive, or I don't, shipping is not going to be quick enough, right? And so what did I do? So then I just made the Hero Forge figure, and then bought the STL file from them and printed it on my own 3D printer. So his solution to the miniatures problem is every person who plays Dungeons and Dragons needs to set up a miniature printing factory in their house, which is a 3D printer, and understand stereolithography. What? And my issue is, okay, Lego's sitting right there, right? Once they made Lego Dungeons and Dragons, every single Lego Harry Potter building becomes, very easy, very direct. Lord of the Rings material comes very easy, very direct. Lego Fantasy, Lego Castle, all these, these series that have weapons that can go. This problem would not have even been a problem in Lego, right? If I need a skeleton that shoots a bow and arrow, I simply take the bow and arrow that came right out of the Lego's Dungeons and Dragons set and put it into the skeleton's hands, right? Every weapon you can make a dual wielding person, you can make a singular person. You simply buy the components you need with Lego, and it is going to cost $100, $200, $300, but now it's all configurable, right? And it's all switched, and they can be broken down and rebuilt for each campaign. You don't need to put a Lego, creation factory in your house, right? That's not a real solution. And what really makes me sad, though, is this is not a good solution, right? This is an overreach by every single metric. So what gets me is if you're looking at this massive overreach, right, then what really gets me, and then Lego is so much cheaper, so much better, so much more configurable, so much more adaptable. But what really breaks my heart is Lego isn't winning, right? I went to Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo this year. There were no Lego minifigs on sale to D&D people. There were so many booths selling 3D printed junk, not junk. It was actually very high quality, right? The problem is you have to buy, and you have to rebuy, and you have to rebuy, right? And it's not junk. It was very high quality material, right? But apologies for that. It just spins me up, because what gets me is there's a prejudice against this. Oh, And there's a sunk cost fallacy, right? Now, for some guys, this is kind of real. I get they have a basement of this very non-adaptable, non-configurable, highly unusable stuff, right? Like that is just very problematic for them, right? But the market should be switching every Dungeon Master over to Lego, but instead we just see just an increased dedication to this extremely ineffective, extremely expensive, extremely not good part of Dungeons and Dragons, and there's just a huge prejudice from the marketers from vendors for this, and it should change. It should change. When I go to Philadelphia Gaming Expo in 2026, I believe there should be 2, 3, 4, 500 Lego minifigures and Lego terrain available for Dungeon Masters to get built with. It's just, this is not good. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider subscribing and have a fetch millennium.